Hello and welcome to today's speed build. If you're new here, then thank you so much for joining me, and if not, then welcome back. So today we are building in the world of Willow Creek, and we're building on this lot which I believe is called Daisy Hovel from what I can see here. And we are building on, I think it might be like a 20 by 30 lot. I'm not 100% sure, but it's one of those lots where it's a lot deeper than it is wide, which normally I really struggle to build on. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's harder to build on these type of lots because you're kind of forced to make very long houses, and sometimes I think with floor plans that can be pretty difficult. But for this specific house that I done, I feel like this lot worked so nicely. So I am today building two semi-detached homes on the same lot. Now this will be functional if you want to play it with the for rent pack, which I think is amazing. I'm still really happy that we have that pack for reasons like this. And I am building two separate households, and I do show me decorating the interior and exterior of both of them, so this might end up being a little bit of a lengthy video, but hopefully you've got, you know, like a coffee, or you've got some snacks, or maybe you've got like a pizza. I don't know, but hopefully you've got something and you're relaxed and you're chilled so that you can listen to this voiceover. Now I decided that I wanted to have two like very different family dynamics, and I will be honest with you, I only came up with one of the dynamics in full. The other dynamic was actually given to me by one of you guys, which was in my Discord. So I actually have a Discord server. If you want to join, the link will just be in the description. But yeah, I have, you know, a little community on there. Everyone likes to chat, and a lot of people like to show their creations, show like their CC and things, or even just show like their builds with packs and stuff and their opinions on things. So please feel free to join if you would like to. But someone from there, I'm not sure if they'd want me to say who they are, but someone from there, a very lovely person, had decided to help me with one of the dynamics. So I will get to that once we get to the dynamic of the yellow house, but I'm gonna start by talking about the blue house, which, by the way, I do end up changing the exterior just a little. The paneling I end up changing to a more realistic like stone, but I still keep these really nice colors because I thought they contrasted so well together. But starting with the blue house, so I thought it would be really nice to have a single mum and two kids kind of family dynamic. Now, I think that she is a very loving mother. She does everything she can for these kids. She loves being a mum. She definitely has to stay at home and do her job from home just because she has so much time like that she needs to devote to her kids, and she's not really able to give up that time for them because yeah, there's not another parent figure around. So yeah, she needs to kind of use all the time that she has got, and she has to devote it to them, which I don't think she minds doing. But as I said, she loves being a mum, but things can definitely be chaotic for her. This includes her house just being very noisy a lot of the time. I think that with her kids being the ages that they are, which by the way is quite young, her kids are one boy and one girl, and the boy I think is around like 12, and then the daughter is only young. She is about like 3. So I feel like it can be chaotic at times, especially when the boy has like his friends over, and I think that he invites his friends over a lot. I think that he loves hanging out with his friends. He's at that age, he's like, I just want to see my friends all the time and I want to hang about with them. And the mum's kind of like, can you not do it at your friend's house ever? But it always kind of ends up being her house. And so I think that they're very loud neighbours, and that the family in the yellow house, they definitely hear them. They're definitely very loud. But I think that they are still a very loving family. They are like, she's like the best mum ever. She does everything she can for her kids. She just can't control the noise all the time. She can't control the mess all the time. And yeah, she's just got a lot on her plate. Now, the dynamic for the yellow house, which of course, again, given to me by the person in my Discord, so thank you to you. If you're okay with me sharing your name, then I am happy to do so. But they had recommended that I put grandparents into that household, which I thought was an amazing idea because it's such a vast difference. Like we have this single mom and her two kids, and then we have an elderly couple, and I thought that was so sweet. So in that household, we have two grandparents, two elderly people, and I think that the mum of the single mum home, she always she loves to bake. She's really good at baking really sweet things, and I think that she always goes around to their house and she's like, "I'm so sorry about the noise. Like here's some baked goods." And I think that the elderly couple, this again was said to me by the person in my Discord. The elderly couple are actually really nice, and they're like, "No, we completely understand. We're happy to help out." And I thought that was such a good dynamic. So that is what I went with. And now I also think that the older couple have some grandkids that tend to visit, not too often, but often enough. And I think that the little boy from the single mum's house loves to go out and play with them. And I think that it kind of gives the mum a break because the grandparents are like, okay, you can come back inside our house, we'll cook you some dinner. And it just gives the mum a little bit of time to kind of clean up the house and get everything in order, which is nice. I think that they are just a very loving, they're a loving community. They love to help each other out, which I think is so lovely. I just love this whole dynamic so much. I think it works really well. Now I'm just adding some debug fences. I don't know what made me add these, but when I seen them in the catalog, I was like, these look so cute. Could I incorporate them into this build? And I feel like they look really, really nice. You'll have to let me know. I don't normally use these fences, but they look so good. So yeah, I'm really happy with them. Now, I believe I put some what are they called? Washing racks in the front garden. But I do end up moving them to the back garden just because I felt like it made a little bit more sense. I feel like less is more in the front. There probably is too much going on. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. Now, for this household, I was trying to go for a kind of realistic vibe, which I don't know if it comes across, but I wanted this to feel like something you would see. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Willow Creek is inspired very greatly by New Orleans, which I love. New Orleans, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I never know if it's New Orleans or New Orleans. But either way, I absolutely love the architecture that you see there. I love the kind of shotgun style houses. I love how they look, even though they're very simplistic. I feel like they just work really well with their shape. And so here, I feel like these definitely fit in. They might not be necessarily New Orleans style, but with the surrounding areas that we have, I think that they blend in really well. And I added a lot of shrubs and trees and things because I felt like that really helped as well to give it that vibe. So you'll have to let me know what you think, of course. Just let me know if it does fit in or not. I think that it looks really, really nice. For me at least, I think it looks really cute. I'm really proud of it. But yeah, I was going for a kind of realistic style in that sense. And I do end up adding some more realistic features, such as the kind of tears on the wallpaper. This is something that I did in my last build, and I thought it looked so good. I don't know, I really liked adding that. So yeah, I ended up doing it for this as well, which I think works really, really nicely. And yeah, I think we shall be moving on to the interiors very soon. I noticed that I have been doing the exterior for a long time, but I think it took me a while to decide if I wanted to change things and if I was happy with how everything looked. And I'm one of those people that you already know, I clutter everything up and then I change things and then I don't like one thing and then yeah, everything's just a little bit chaotic. So I'm hoping we get to the inside pretty soon, but you will see the vast difference on the interiors once I get to them. Now they do follow the same floor plan. That is something to keep in mind. There is a room that I change in the grandparents' household. I make it a different function, I make it a different use, but the layout does end up being the same. I felt like the layout that I chose worked so nicely for the shape, and it's kind of hard to clutter up, or not clutter up, sorry, to create spaces for such a long home. So yeah, I was really happy with it, so I just chose it for both. But we have finally moved on to the single mum's household, and in here we are starting with the kitchen. The kitchen just felt like a really focal point to start with, and you can't see right now, but the kitchen is located like in the middle of the house. And from the kitchen you can also get to the bathroom, you can get to the front door area, and you can also get to the living room as well. Now you can see me probably struggling to pick counters for a long time. I did end up going with the new base game ones, which I think these look so good. Like, I love that marble effect, they look amazing. I added in a rug which I slightly slanted just to give that kind of unkept look. I thought that worked really nicely. It's the small details for me that I love to include. I just love putting in little details that maybe seem insignificant, but I think that they just change everything. But yeah, for mum's home, so we're going for a kind of messy style. Now, I don't think in any way that this house is dirty. I don't think that like the mum does not take care of it. None of that at all. I think that she is always running after like her son and her daughter, and she's doing everything she can, but it's still slightly unkept. You know, she has 2 kids, there's a lot going on, and she has to deal with her own work and stress. So I think that it does have more of an unkept look. It does seem a little bit more messy, but I really like that vibe, and that's one of my favorite styles to build in. I'm going to be honest, I just love it so much. It just feels so good. Now, I did include this like clutter item that we have, and it's this like tin of soup and cheese and stuff. I felt like that worked really nicely because it does give the impression that she's kind of just like taken the lid off, she's kept everything out, and then she's just been like, okay, right, I need to go and do this, and she's just kind of like left it on the counter. And yeah, I think that it's still clean. She's probably getting it prepared to cook dinner and stuff, but I just really like the way that looked. So yeah, but as you can see, I've added some like of these wall details, which just shows a little bit of the brick and stuff. It's nothing crazy, I didn't add them excessively, but it's just little things I added here and there to give a sort of different style or a different look, sorry, to the household. I also ended up in this kitchen using that cute little shelf. I love this shelf so much. It just looks so good. I believe it came with the Home Chef Hustle kit, stuff pack. I believe it came with that. But yeah, I love it so much. Now, I did add another rug because for some reason I am crazy when it comes to rugs. I feel like we need them all. They do also have a dishwasher, and I think either it's like a hot pot that I use. I wasn't sure. I thought that I maybe put a kettle down, but I ended up using a hot pot. That's fine. I mean, I'm happy with that. I think in the grandparents one I might have put in a microwave, which I thought made sense, especially if they're older and they don't want to cook as much. And I think that the mum comes round and obviously she's dropping off her goodies a lot of the time, so I think that they probably need a microwave anyway just to heat some of the stuff up depending on what it is. But yeah, this kitchen just felt so nice and full to me. I love it. I've got like these little cute like art, like school art on the wall as well, on the fridge. I thought that was so sweet, just because it kind of implies that the son has been making them, or the daughter, but I'm not sure if like 3 would be too young to make something like that. But yeah, definitely a really nice thing to include. And then we have some washing on the ground because of course, something that I wish I added to that room, I know that we have a designated room for the wash and dryer, which you might have just seen a little sneak peek of there, but in Britain, it's very common to have your washing machine in the kitchen, which probably seems a little bit weird, and I guess it is like a bit weird, but you know, we well, as far as I'm concerned, most people have their have their washing machine in the kitchen, because we don't have designated rooms most of the time to keep them. So I thought it would be really nice to put that underneath, but that definitely would be more of a British style home. This obviously was kind of fitting into that New Orleans theme, so maybe it's a good job I didn't do it, but just when I was looking at it there, I was like, that would have looked really, really cool if we had that. But that's something I will keep in mind for future builds. But here we're cluttering up the hallway, and I put a lot of effort into this hallway. I don't really know why, but sometimes I love to just go a bit crazy with it. I like it to come across very full, and like, I don't know, I want every area of my builds to feel like they have been looked at, and they have yeah, they've been kind of taken into consideration. So I thought that it just made sense for me to clutter this up as much as possible. But yeah, it's very simple. Now we do move on to this first room. So this is the room that you would kind of walk into to get to the rest of the household. Now, this room for this family ends up being an office, because I know that the mum works from home, so she definitely needs to have a computer space. She needs to have room where she can sit from home and she can do her work. And so I made her a very cozy little space for her to be able to do the work that she needs to do. She's got her computer. There's a bookshelf in here as well, which I thought was very handy. And yeah, I'm so happy with how this turned out. I feel like it looks really good. I love doing this thing where I like slightly slant the rugs. I feel like it just adds to that kind of unkept look as well. I don't know, it just works really nicely. And then we've just got some paintings on the walls, and yeah, I think that when she's sitting and she's doing her work, sometimes like her kids will be home, you know, like at the weekend and stuff, and I think that they're like, Mom, like, we want to go out, we want to do this. And I think on the weekend she really struggles to get things done, because she's like, okay, like, I'll take yous out then. And I think, you know, although the boy likes to go out with his friends, I think that he also likes to go out with his family. I think he's very protective of his little sister as well, and they love to kind of go out maybe to the park, to the beach, things like that. So yeah, I feel like the mum, she struggles to get things done on weekends, especially when it's sunny, which, by the way, at the time of filming this, it is so sunny. I live in Scotland and we don't get sun very often, you know, it's kind of like a myth, like, wait, there's a sun in the sky? So the fact that we have the sun shining is so lovely. I went out this morning and I was like, this is so lovely. And of course, it's the day that I am not at work, which is so nice, because normally I'm at work when it's sunny. Sorry, usually I'm at work when it's sunny, but today I am not at work and it is sunny, and I am so happy about it. But anyway, we are now moving on to the bathroom. So there only ends up being one bathroom in this whole household. I'm sorry, I didn't actually mention that. And this is the bathroom. This is the main bathroom. This is where everyone goes if they want to have a shower or, you know, use the toilet. This is the shower. And the shower, I don't think my brain is working. This is the bathroom. This is the bathroom. Now, I didn't add too much to it. I feel like it's not very interesting, but, you know, I figured I would show it anyway, because a lot of the time I don't show so I don't show my bathrooms on camera, and I don't know, I feel like it's nice when there's only one bathroom to actually just show it, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And sometimes I clutter them up differently, so yeah, I decided to include it this time. Anyways, we've now moved on to the living room, and this room is so nice and big and spacious. I worried at first that it was going to be a little bit too big, but honestly I'm so glad that it is a bit bigger than a lot of like living rooms that I have done in the past. I think that it looks really nice, and it feels so homey. Now, I started with using this sofa from the high school years kit because I felt like it looked really nice with the blanket and such, but I end up changing it, and now I can't think exactly what one I change it out for, but I'm so sure that I end up changing it unless I'm mistaken. But I did just I did also, sorry, decide to add some toys and stuff down here. I think that this is a mixture of like the boy playing with them, but also the young girl. I think that maybe these are kind of hand-me-downs as well, so possibly you know, these belong to the boy, but you know, now the sister uses them. And yes, I ended up using this sofa from the cats and dogs pack, which worked so nicely in this room. I also did mix wood swatches, which you've probably noticed. I used a mixture of this kind of like soft white beige wood and then mixed it with kind of like your darker woods. That is something that I do a lot, and I noticed when I watch other YouTubers that that's not something that people like to do, which was a bit like, oh, maybe like I shouldn't do that then, but I don't know why. I just love how it looks, so I'm really sorry if like that's not a preferred style, but I kind of like it. I think for this dynamic as well, again, it adds to the look that I was going for, so I didn't think it looked too crazy or out of place. But you can let me know. Sometimes when I stick to one wood tone, I do get a little bit immersed in that wood tone and then I end up doing nothing else. So it was kind of one of those things where I was like, you know, am I better to just go with what I know, or will I end up making everything the exact same color? So yeah, I feel like this is probably the better of the two, but I cluttered up this room quite a bit. It's very full. I think that the mum spends a lot of time in here. I think that she likes to sit, watch her TV shows. I think that the kids probably come in the middle of the night and they're like, can we watch TV? And she's like, you need to go to school. I don't know. I think that sometimes she can't sleep and she just likes to sit in here and watch TV. I think she probably falls asleep in here sometimes as well, but that sofa looks so comfy. So honestly, I would not mind that at all. Now here's me using this item. Now this item, let me tell you, is base game. You probably already know that, but I never knew it existed. Like, I kind of want to do a short that's like items I never knew existed and like are good, because that item is so cute and I had no idea. So yeah, that's a cute item. I feel like it adds so much detail. It's got these kind of like blanket woven towel rug things on them. It just looks so nice. I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, I think we should be finishing up here soon. Oh, by the way, you've probably noticed that my kind of like UI is a bit messed up. As you can see, I still have my mods downloaded, and with that they've obviously clashed a little bit with the game, which has resulted in the game looking a little bit odd for the UI. So please just ignore that. I hope it's not too off-putting, but I was like, I don't want to re-download all my mods. Like, I want to build this build. So I ended up just you know, keeping it as is. So that's why it looks crazy. But anyway, we are moving on to the upstairs now. So this is where the bedrooms end up being, and this is a 3-bedroom home because we have a room for the boy, a room for the mum, and then a room for the girl. Now the girl's room is not there just yet because I wasn't sure what size I wanted to make it. I made it pretty small at first and then I ended up expanding it, so you will see that. Now if you wanted to kind of add on to this build, if you wanted to do like another room, or if you wanted there to be a bigger space for maybe the daughter when she's older, you could definitely implement a basement, maybe even like an outdoor access to the basement. You know, I don't think that's super uncommon either. So yeah, if you wanted to include something like that, I think it would be really nice. You could also like add another floor, but I don't know if that would be a little bit more difficult, because then you'd probably have to add another floor to the like semi-detached home as well, the other home next to this. So yeah, but I think that there definitely is room that you could expand if you wanted to. But here is the boy's room. He has a lava lamp, which is so cool. I love lava lamps. They're so fun. I really want to get my boyfriend a lava lamp because he keeps saying that he wants one, like a red one. And I'm so sure you can get them on like Argos, but yeah, I don't know how like good they are. I think that they probably would be really good. Like I imagine that you can't go too wrong, but he really wants one. So they're so cool though. They're so fun to watch. Like I really do like them. But anyway, We are cluttering up this little room. So he's got this little like cat. It looks a bit like the Pusheen cat. It's really sweet. And then I did add a little bit of like tears in the wallpaper and things, which I thought just, you know, added a little bit of extra detailing. I do end up adding like oh no, I don't think I add too much extra furniture, but I do end up moving the door down, and so I end up moving the bookshelf. So the bookshelf ends up being on like the other wall, the wall where the mirror is, which you'll kind of see is because I had to move the bookshelf down so it just like so it would work properly. But yeah, I also added this keyboard to the desk. I thought that looked so cute. We've got this little like cat plant, which is just a staple. I love it so very much. But yeah, I was concerned that there was too much like green going on, so I think I end up changing. Yeah, so this rug ends up being like a green toned like leaf rug. I don't know, I feel like sometimes I explain things and it doesn't make sense. Hopefully you kind of get what I'm talking about, but maybe possibly not. Anyway, this ends up being the mum's room. Now at first I was going to go for this wallpaper, but for the dynamic I had in mind for the wallpaper just didn't really make any sense, so I do end up swapping it out. And here's me trying to build the little girl's room, like where I'm gonna put it, but I do end up making it bigger than this because this is very small. I mean, even for like an infant or even for a toddler, like a 3-year-old, I still think this room is a little bit small. So yeah, it does end up being bigger. You're probably looking at it right now and you're like, this is very small. I actually think I might decorate her room before the mum's room now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, either way, her room ends up being a bit bigger. I end up adding, I think, like a chair. And there's like a few little things, but honestly nothing major because I think that, I don't know, it was a very small space for me to furnish, so I didn't want too much going on. I felt like that was probably going to be a little bit too much. So yeah, I just added what I could, but it's a very simple little room. Maybe in the future the son will move out and then she'll finally get the big room. Maybe he'll take the small room, although I very much doubt it because he could probably just fit a bed in here. Maybe a desk, like if you use Tiny Living. That really makes me want to do like a challenge where I make like a 2-tile home. I have a build that I've done before. It was a very long time ago. It was when I first started YouTube. It was like 2 years ago, but I did this video where I built like a 3x3 home, or it was something like that. It may have been like a 4x4, but it was a very small home and I was so proud of it at the time. But now I'm like, I want to do even better. I want to do like a 3x3 home. But yeah, that's probably, I don't know, would you want to see that? Maybe not, but I feel like it sounds interesting. So now that's going to be my brain. Now I'm going to want to do that. Now I'm going to be thinking about it for the rest of the day. But do you know what? I have the whole day to record. So if that video suddenly comes out one day, you'll know. You'll know why. But anyway, here I am building the mum's room. So her room ends up being very pink. It's so cute. It's really nice. And she ends up having all of her staples in here. So there ends up being like a dressing table. I did not add a dressing table to the boy's room, but he does have a mirror. So I'm hoping that's okay. I hate when I don't add dressers to rooms. I feel really bad, but he does have a mirror, so I feel like that's okay. That helps a little bit. She's also got a mirror, but she has both. She's got the best of both worlds here. But yeah, so for her room, it's very, I don't know, it's very simple. She just got a lot of stuff kind of laying about. She does have a bit of a messy room. I think that she's messier than the kids in terms of her bedroom because she's always cleaning up the house, but she doesn't so much clean up her bedroom as much because she's like, like it's just my bedroom. I think that she cleans the kids' rooms all the time, but she's like, like no one cares about my bedroom. Like I'll just leave it as is. So her room ends up being really messy. I think if she ever like invites anyone over, she's like quickly cleaning. She's like kicking her bag under her bed and pretending that she's a very clean person. But Yeah, it's a very cute room. I think it ends up looking really sweet. I think it really gets her personality across as well, which I love having. I think that's so sweet. But yeah, after this, I think we move on to the elderly couples household. I keep wanting to say apartment for some reason. I don't know why. It's not an apartment, it is a household. We end up moving on to theirs, which you'll see a very drastic difference in personality, in furnishings, in kind of clutter levels. There's still clutter because I am me and I like to clutter, but it's definitely significantly less than, this room, for example. So yeah, you will see that very, very soon. We're just filling up the hallway here just because I wanted there to be something in it so it doesn't look so plain. But here we are, we're finally moving on to the elderly couple's apartment. And I did decide to keep in me kind of popping in the floorings and things like that just because I wanted you to see a kind of bigger version, not a bigger, a zoomed out version of what the floor plan actually looks like, because I feel like you probably didn't get to see it in too much detail last time. So yeah, I made sure to add that. Now I believe they do end up having that little room still stay a washroom, but the first room, the room that we put the office in for the mum, that room I end up changing. So we will see that in a little bit, but we're starting off with the kitchen again, and we are going for base game counters again because I think that they work really, really nicely. But you'll see that this room ends up looking a little bit more old-fashioned, a little bit not plainer, but it's just different. It's a different dynamic. I really like it. I think it turns out so nicely, but it's definitely different. I do add a lamp to the corner because I'm a sucker for a lamp in the corner. It just looks good. It just works. But yeah, we add a sink, of course. We've got a stove. We also add a microwave, I believe, to this household, which we didn't do in the last one. So I thought that was a nice thing to add. But yeah, we're cluttering up again. I'm scared that this is going to feel a little bit repetitive because we're going for the same layout. That's the only thing I'm afraid of. I do things a little bit differently though, so I'm hoping that it doesn't feel repetitive. I really, really hope, now that I'm watching it back here, I hope that it doesn't feel that way. I kind of like that the kitchens are in the same places though. I think it looks nice. But yeah. By the way, if you want to download this from the gallery, I've not even mentioned, my gallery ID is just iHanza. And if you want to check out any of the posts that I post on Instagram, what was I going to say? My name is iHanza YT. I just completely forgot what I was saying there. Yeah. So my name on Instagram is iHanza YT, and we just recently got to 1,000 followers on Instagram. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that does support me over there. I really, really appreciate it. I like to post all my builds and I think you guys really like to see them. You are so supportive. I love Instagram. Honestly, in terms of my Sims channel, I love Instagram. The community is amazing. Like all these builders that I've met, not in person, but spoken to over Instagram and gave support to, and the amount of support they give back, honestly, it warms my heart. I love how nice the Sims community is. That's my personal experience with the Sims community. I feel like everyone is so lovely. I don't think I've ever watched a Sims YouTuber and been like, oh, this person seems like an awful person. Like, I don't know. I just love the community as a whole. And so yeah, it's been so nice being over on Instagram and being able to share my creations because everyone's so positive over there. But yeah, if you want to download anything from a gallery, it's just iHanza, and if you want to, of course, visit my Instagram as well, it's iHanza YT. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about this build again. So as you can see, we are doing the bathroom, which is very simple. It's very plain. There's not too much to it, like nothing crazy, but I feel like it works for an elderly couple. I think this fits in so well. I just love using the bathroom clutter kit for bathrooms. Like, of course, what else am I going to use them for? But I really do love that kit. It's a kit that I reviewed when it first came out, and I was just so excited about like the items being so detailed and just so nice. And yeah, I don't know, it felt nice to get that kit. That was kind of when kits were still newer, I would say, and I feel like we weren't getting them as frequently, so I was very excited about like getting that kit. And yeah, it's still a kit that I really like to this day. But anyway, we're moving on to this front room now. I decided to make this a room which contains a Murphy bed. So this room is really good if they ever have people staying and they want to pull out a bed, or if, I don't know, maybe they want to sit in here, so they like having a little sofa up. I did think about putting a TV on the wall, but then I thought that wouldn't be, I don't know, I just felt like it wouldn't be realistic. But there does end up being a Murphy bed, and I never use these, so I was like, I want to use one. I never use them. I stick in that comfort zone and I don't use them, and I know that they can kill your Sims, which is definitely a big reason why I try not to use them. But you know what? When I used to play, play religiously all the time at The Sims, I used to use Murphy beds like a whole bunch, and they never did kill my Sims. Maybe it's more common now that it happens, or maybe I just was very, very lucky. But I feel like you can still play with Murphy beds without your Sim dying. So I decided to add that. I think that it's really nice if, you know, if like their kids come over and then like the grandkids could stay upstairs, because upstairs there does end up being 2 bedrooms, but one of them ends up being a spare bedroom. Or maybe like the kids would be on the Murphy bed. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I feel like the parents would probably, you know, choose to sleep on the Murphy bed just so that their kids didn't have to. But yeah, anyway, here's me building and like decorating the little hallway area, and I definitely went in depth for this one as well, but I just felt like it looked really, really cute. And again, I feel like it's a nice way to build up personality. Like this compared to walking into the mum's home is just vastly different, and I love that. I want it to feel different. Now, with it being the same floor plan, I will say I do think it's realistic in a sense, because normally homes that are semi-detached will have the same floor plan. Like on my street, like all the houses have the same floor plans. Some of them might be like reversed and some of them might be slightly different, but for the most part they do seem to have the same floor plans. So yeah, I don't think it's crazy. Oh, something I don't think I mentioned is probably pretty obvious, but from the living room you can get to the back garden. So that's something that I wanted to be sure of. I wanted there to be a big area for you to get to the back garden. So that's nice. I imagine your Sims would go in and out this household as they please. And oh, just a little pop up on the screen. But here is the grandparents' living room that we've started work on. Now, I chose for the fireplace to be on the same wall as the fireplace in the mum's room, like for them to be back to back, because in terms of realisticness, I feel like you probably would be able to hear their TV otherwise. So yeah, this just made the most sense. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like that makes the most sense. What I find, see when I stay in hotels and stuff, they always put the TV like on the wall behind the bed, and then like I can hear the TV from the next room, and it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe at all. But anyway, here we are building up this room. So it's got a lot of like little clutter pieces. We got some plants, we got lamps, we've got radiators, which I added in the other home, but I feel like I might have added more here. I don't know, I can't remember actually, but yeah, I really like how this room ends up looking. It's definitely more like toned down than the other household. It's a little bit neater. It's, yeah, I don't know, but it works really nicely to me. I think it works really well. I added some little clutter pieces to the desk and stuff, and to little areas around the place. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. Now, I do think that the elderly couple, I do think that they share a bedroom. And so that's why they have a spare bedroom. But if you wanted to do like a bedroom each, you could definitely do that. It's not uncommon, well, especially here, it's not uncommon for like the older people to actually have separate bedrooms just for their own comfort levels. So if you wanted to do like a bedroom each, you could definitely do that. I just decided to make them share a bedroom, but you could do whatever you like. I think either would work really, really nicely. But you will end up seeing that when we move on to the top floor. I think I end up doing the like laundry room last, because I went back down to the bottom floor and I was like, oh no, I forgot to do the laundry room. So yeah, you'll kind of see me do that as well. But here I've got some paintings on the walls. I've got some clutter on this like little desk thing. We've got some earbuds and stuff. I love adding things like that. I just think they feel a bit more realistic. And yeah, I used these sofas. Now these are from the what is that called, living room furniture kit, which, oh my gosh, what a beautiful kit. I did do a like apartment renovation where I used this pack, and it is such a good kit. There's just so much in it. It's so lovely. I love it so much. But now we are finally moving on to the top floor, and you can see that originally I was going to split up these rooms and make them separate, but I ended up not doing that and I ended up making them 2 separate bedrooms. So we do start with the spare bedroom, and this is a very simple room because I felt like if I added any personality, then it would indicate that it maybe belongs to someone and that, you know, someone is in here. But I didn't want that. I wanted it to feel very kind of plain, very like almost boring in a sense, but you know, not boring, but I wanted it to not feel so cluttered up. So it ends up just being very simplistic, but I think it works really nicely if they have anyone over. It's just a nice room to have. So yeah, I added some paintings to the walls. They've got a mirror, they've got a dresser, bedside table, and of course a bed. Everything that you need. I don't think you need too much more. Oh, and of course a plant because it's a staple. But yeah, we're now moving on to the parents' I keep saying grandparents, but then I'm like, realistically I should be saying elderly couple, but I guess they are grandparents because they still have grandkids. But yeah, we're moving on to their bedroom, which ends up feeling much brighter, much softer colors, very sweet, a little bit more full, and I really like this room so much. I put the bed on like the opposite wall just so it didn't clash with, you know, the other beds. Maybe that sounds silly, but I like to keep that in mind when I'm doing floor plans. I don't want all the beds to be facing the same way or on the same wall. So yeah, I ended up putting it on the opposite wall from the last place. But yeah, we've got a TV in here, we've got some clutter, we've got a bookshelf. I'm trying to think anything else that I add. We've also got the lamps, this chair, which yes, I do end up keeping, I'm sure. And yeah, just little decorations. I think after this, the last thing I do is the hallway, and then I also move on and do the, sorry, my brain is not working, the laundry room as well. But yeah, I did add a piano to here. I thought that was sweet. Maybe one of the elderly couple like to play piano. That's a cute dynamic. But we are coming to the end of this video. I know it was a long one, I do apologize, but thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.